Hello and welcome to this first session of data visualization. We are going to learn actually Google Data Studio, but it helps us for creating the visuals for the purpose of data visualization. So let us first understand what is it and what is the use of it. We live in a 21st century which is recognized by rapid growth in the field of information and technology, and hence I can say that we live in a digital world where we are surrounded by lot many digital instruments which either process or generate information at all the time. So when this happens with many of the instruments that surround us and with billions of the people in the world, then what is generated is big data, which is generated at large volume, velocity and variety. And because of the advent of this big data, businesses have been taking the benefit of it for enhancing their businesses. Big data is having large volumes, so it is difficult to analyze the information and the outcomes that are hidden in the information. So data visualization helps it to create a graphical representation of the big data and do the analysis of it for the benefit of the businesses. So data visualization is nothing but presentation of data in graphical or visual format to make the people visually understand what the data of their organization is all about. It is represented using different graphs, charts, maps and other information graphics. And it supports the business intelligence. Now what is business intelligence? Using the data visualization tools and techniques, the inferences or conclusions can be made about the patterns that are hidden in the data. This helps the key executives or the key persons of the organization to take the decisions more helpful or beneficial for their organization, and this is called as business intelligence. So these are the quick benefits of the data visualization, right from quick analysis to the level at which the decisions are taken for the enhancement of the business. So data visualization is really very important branch of business intelligence. Because of this advent of big data, there are many career opportunities in the market available, which are right from big data engineer to a data consultant, and hence it seems adequately important that we need to have mastery on some or other data visualization or analysis tool. The popular data visualization tools are Google Data Studio, Tableau, Microsoft BI, Power BI, then Zoho, IBM Watson and some other, which help to create such data visuals of the big data. Now uncovering some of the Google Data Studio features. This is a sample dashboard that I have created. This is helping me to analyze how my people are engaged in different tasks. So this is what finally we are going to create. Now about Google Data Studio, it is a cloud-based tool for data visualization and it is absolutely free. So because being cloud-based, you can access it from any browser or device from anywhere, and it is built on Google Drive. So to use it, you need to have a Google Drive account. So to add to some other features of Google Data Studio, it is able to connect to many of the data sources, right from Excel to live data streaming, which are almost 220 data sources can be connected to Google Data Studio. You can have full control over customization of the reports and the visuals that you are able to create. These are dynamic controls, means the executives can interact with the controls and can see the effect of interaction with the in the other controls. So different types of or levels of information can be uncovered, can be discovered with the help of these dynamic controls. There are advanced formulas are available for calculating different metrics and fields, which help the people to take more informed decision. And Google Data Studio has a tight engagement with Google ecosystem like BigQuery or Google Sheets, slides, using which the data can be presented. or the collaboration or integration of protocols or features of each other is easily possible because of this. Now to start with the Google Data Studio, we will be using this link datastudio.google.com from where we can open the Google Data Studio. We will have to log in using our Gmail account. Therein we will be creating the visual which is finally called as a Google Data Studio report. So finally you present a report to your client or share or collaborate or put that report into a website of your client's website. So this is a report that we create in Google Data Studio. We need to connect a data source for it, and finally using different charts or visualization we will be creating the actual visual of the data, and then we'll be using it to collaborate, share, embed and download with your client. So this is how the Google Data Studio will be used. Now let us start with the next session, wherein we will be exploring Google Data Studio's interface and the different terms related to it. Welcome to the second session. This session will uncover the interface of Google Data Studio. So I just go to Google search engine and type Google Data Studio. The very first link will take you to the interface of Data Studio. Now because being cloud based, you need a Google account to use this. So I sign in using my Gmail account. So this is how the interface of Data Studio looks like. Output of a Data Studio will be a report. So this is the report that you will be sharing with your friends or to clients, or you can email it to your clients, or you can embed it into website of client. So you create a data report using Data Studio. So I just click on blank report. Instantly it is asking me what data you need to add to report. There are many data sources a Google Data Studio can connect to, like analytics data, ads data, BigQuery data, MySQL data sources, and there are many other. I choose Google Sheets because this will carry my data. So I just click on it and I can choose the data from here. Before that, I will just add the data that we'll be working on into Google Sheets. So I just click on creating a blank sheet first, and I will import the data into Google Sheets from my computer. So this is the data, sales data TechX. I import it into Sheets. It is asking me whether you want to replace the existing worksheet or want to insert new one or create a new spreadsheet at all. So there is nothing in my file now, so I just replace it with new data. I will name the spreadsheet like sales data of a company. Let us say Tech ABC. Now let us understand what are different columns in this Excel, because we will be creating a report out of that. So let us understand our data first. This is the data of sales of a company which delivers its product in many countries, and the data is for the year 2019 and 2020. So there are different countries, then the currency of the country, then order value in euros, the gross profit it has got on orders, the actual cost, date of the delivery or order it may be, then category of the product like books, games, clothing, etc., name of the customer buying the product, name of the sales manager in the country and the sales representative in the country, then device type, what kind of order it was, what kind of device it is, and the order ID. So these are the columns in this data sheet, and there are 1000 records in this data. So I have imported it and we have named it as Google Sales Data Tech ABC. So now we are ready to import it or use it in Data Studio. So I go to Data Studio and click on Add Data. So I have chosen Google Sheets, and from that, here I chosen Google Sheet, and from that you can select the data that you have collected. Let me refresh Google Sheets once again. Here is the data, sales data, Tech ABC, and I just click on Add to Report. It is asking the confirmation, and I add the data to report. So as soon as you add a data, the Data Studio responds with creating a default visual as table. So it has fetched the country data, and it is showing for how many countries the order has been delivered. So it is showing the record count per country. Now there are different things that we need to understand, that how the different data visuals can be connected, what are their properties, and how to use them. Let us start discussing them in next session, where we'll discuss table and scorecard as a visual. See you in the next session. Welcome to this session. In this session we will be learning two data visuals, table and a scorecard. When you add a data source to Google Data Studio, the default visual you see is a table. The Data Studio automatically chooses one column and shows the table. The other column you see is a record count, which is the number of occurrences of the earlier data value, that is the country here, in the complete data sheet. So let us understand the data properties of it. There are two tabs related to a control, a data tab and a style tab. Data tab, here you can manipulate how the data will look like, or what data will look like into the control, and in style tab you can adjust the formatting. So for time being, let us discuss the important properties related to both of the tabs. In data tab, first property is data source, which is nothing but the name of the data source that we have connected Google Studio in background. It is name of that Google Sheet we have connected to. Let us discuss important properties. Very first one is a dimension. Dimension are those columns which you will see in the visual. You can add the dimensions here. Let us say I add country and or say gross profit. So you see two dimensions here. You can change it from here or remove it from here. So let me add another dimension. Let us say sales manager for that country. You can adjust the width like this. So this is showing you the country wise sales manager. And now I am adding a metric. Remember, metric is a numerical field that is available, and using which you can compare the various things, like in this case the gross profit per country or the sales done in a country and so on. So I'll just remove this record count metric and add a metric as, let us say, gross profit. Now we have three columns as country, related sales manager and gross profit. When you click on view button, this is how your report will look like to customer or client. So you see here there are three buttons, clicked on which you see some options. Whether you want to sort it by some of the columns, that option is there. Let us say sorted on gross profit or other columns like sales manager or country, that you can do. You can download this data present in this visual as a CSV file, or you can even export it to sheets. So this is the way you can interact with your controls, and that is why it is said that the controls in Data Studio are dynamic. Now let us discuss the other properties. Before that, let me make it more visible to you. So I'll just change the table header, a larger one, font, and the table labels also I'll make it somewhat larger to be visible to you. Now let us return to the data properties. After dimension and metric, there are properties like drill down, optional metrics, and metric slider. Let us say I enable this drill down button, and now let us click on view. So now here you can see two extra arrows have been added where you can drill down on a particular column and see data for that column. So as per sales manager, now you are seeing the gross profit. So this is the way you can interact with your controls, drilling down to different columns you have added. So you may add 3, 4, how many columns you want to add, and can view the data accordingly, that is gross profit accordingly. So in the less space you can adjust, or you can do much part of the data exploration, or you can evaluate data on multiple columns in this way in the same space by using the drill down option. Let us go to edit again and the data property of table. Now just like we have added additional dimension, you can add additional metrics and can also drill down on metrics. Then there is a metric slider option, clicked on which when you view you get a slider here. What is this slider? You can now check the table data on the range of a gross profit. So suppose you want to check it in between 500,000 and above, what is the gross profit, which countries have delivered gross profit more than 500,000. So this is the way you can see it by adjusting the slider controls. So Data Studio will automatically filter the data in that way, right? Let us go to next property. I'll again select table. After metric slider, there is number of rows you want to see for a table to display. Then sorting on either gross profit or country. So you can either sort it in ascending or descending manner, and your table data will be displayed accordingly, right? And there is important property of adding a filter. Filter is nothing but a condition you can specify on a visual. That condition will filter the data according to the conditional part specified in the filter. So it will just filter the data suitable to a condition or that satisfies the condition. Let us add a filter. I click on create filter. Here let us say gross profit more than, let us say 4,000. So whether you want to include or exclude a field, let us say I want to see gross profit which is greater than 4,000. So I am only interested in seeing the countries delivering me the gross profit more than 4,000. When you apply this filter, the data is automatically filtered and you will be seeing only those countries which deliver the gross profit accordingly. So when you edit, let us explore what are other options. There are conditions, mathematical conditions for numerical as well as for textual fields. These conditions will be different one. So there are different conditions like equal to, between a range, greater than equal to, less than equal to, and so on. So you can filter the data of a visual in this way by applying a filter, right? Now after this, let me tell you another visual of scorecard. So let us say I add this visual here, which is a scorecard. Scorecard tells you a single number. Now let us see what are the data properties of it. The data source is there, then metric is gross profit. Now it's on you what you want to see. When you click on the metric button edit, you will see the different aggregate function here, that whether you want to see the total sum of gross profit or the average gross profit or the minimum gross profit for a entire data or maximum gross profit in the entire data. So you can change here, and you can also change, let us say, maximum gross profit. You can just enter and you can see the scorecard is giving you that number where gross profit is maximum. So here also you can apply the filters as explained earlier to let the studio select only those rows from the data source which satisfy your filter condition. So this is the way the scorecard and the table works. There are two more types of tables. So if you click here on chart and can select another type of table, it will show you the profits column in the bar manner. When you click on it, you will see the bar manner, but you also want to see the values. So you just go to the style tab and click on data labels that you want to see. So you just have to select the data labels, show target, show axis, show labels, and the data labels will also be seen. Also there is another type of table which is of heat map type, right? So density will be more where the profit is more, and density will be less where the profit is less. So on this table, if you want to sort it in descending manner of gross profit, then you can do it. Let us click on view and let us check whether it is doing it or not. Sort by, say, gross profit. Now you can see it here, that this is how the heat map is also reflected in the visual. So I hope these two visuals and their use it now clear. I have discussed properties like dimension, metric, drill down, a metric slider, the filter property, and how to change between types of tables, and also scorecard had been displayed. So that's it with this session. Let me see you in the next session with more controls. Welcome back to the session. In this session, I'll explain you two more chart types or visuals, that are pivot table and time series chart. Let us go to pivot table first. I'll add a pivot table here. It is different than the normal table. It shows the data between rows and columns intersection. Let us see how. So you will have a row dimension separate here and a column dimension separate. Let us keep the row dimension as country and column dimension instead of currency. Let me add, say, date. So I want to see date wise gross profit, but it is showing every date, so we can format this date type in different way. So just click on edit and go to date. Now you can format it to different types of dates like quarterly, yearly, half yearly, and so on. So I choose year here, so that gross profit, which is the metric, is displayed year wise 2019 and 2020, right? So this is the way it is. It differs from the normal table, that is shows the data across rows and column intersection. So year wise gross profit and per country, that is the data that is been shown. So let us go to view and see that how the pivot table looks like. You can do other formatting like background color, font selection, foreground color, and so on. So I leave it to you. Let us learn other important properties first. The other properties like showing the grand totals column wise and showing the grand total rows wise are there. So you can see that the user can see these summaries. Then again sorting the data in ascending or descending manner in either of the column. Again, like previous, you can add any of the filter to filter the data on condition. Say gross profit for only a country, or gross profit less than a number or greater than a number, and so on. Here is the important property I wanted to show you, that is interaction. What is interaction? I will just click this checkbox and also I will enable the interaction checkbox here. It is already checked, and let us view the data. Now whenever you click on interaction, then all the controls in the report will interact with each other. Meaning is what? If you select UK here, then pivot table also filters the data for UK only. Or click on any other part, so it will bring the data for that selected country. Similarly, if you click on the pivot table data, the normal table data will be filtered depending upon the selection. So this is how the controls interact with each other, and this is very useful feature when you have too many controls on a page and want to analyze or filter the data depending upon selected one column. So this is the pivot table control or a visual. The rest of the properties in layout, in the style, remain the same, like changing the font color, style of the table, showing the labels, background and foreground color, font. So let us not discuss those formatting property, they are self-explanatory. Let us now switch to another control, a time series chart. I will delete these controls from here, and now I add a control, time series chart. As the name suggests, it shows the data on a particular time or date range. So again here, let us see what are the dimensions. The dimension is date. We want to see the metric as gross profit. And let us format this date type to year and quarter. So now for every quarter of 2019, quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 2020 quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4, it has shown the data, that is gross profit, right? So this is how you can see in a time series manner the accumulation of data. When you view it and you click on any of the point, it will show you the data, that is the gross profit for that particular quarter. Similarly, you can choose year wise or every month of a year and so on by formatting the date type to a different way. That is, if I format this date type instead of year quarter as year month, then for every month of 2019 and 2020, it will show you the data of gross profit. So on every point you can see the gross profit data as label. So this is about a time series chart. You can convert this time series chart to other types. Rest of the properties are same, only look is slightly different. A spark line chart or a smooth line chart. Only the appearance is different, the properties and the data properties remain the same. So that's it with this session. See you in the next session with more visuals. Welcome to this session. Let us explore some more data visuals. We have covered earlier tables, scorecard, time series chart and the pivot table. Let us now switch to bar chart. Let us say we want to explore what is the country wise gross profit. So we choose the dimension as country and metric as the gross profit. So it shows you the data in this way. The other properties remain the same, such as you can add additional dimensions, additional metrics. You can see the gross profit instead of total profit. You can see the average, minimum or maximum profit per country and apply filters. So these properties are the same. So let me add one more dimension or one more metric and we'll see the difference. So I am also adding a metric as cost. So now there are two data items to compare country wise. So when we visualize it, we can see country wise gross profit and cost. When we click on the pick, it shows you the data labels also. And then the remaining options are same. You can sort it in either manner, or you can drill down to other dimension to see the analysis. So this is how it tells you about the bar chart. You can convert this bar chart to other options, say stacked column chart, 100% stacked column chart where entire space of the visual is occupied, or the horizontal position. Let us change to this type and we can see that data can be shown in a horizontal manner also. So we can switch from one type of chart to another using this conversion. It is easy to see the changes. Let us see the combo chart. The combo chart shows the combination of a bar chart and a line chart. So in this visual it shows you gross profit and the line is shown for the gross profit and the bars are shown for the cost. So you can arrange it differently. So that is the control of combo chart, where you can see it in different manner, the data analysis. Only the style is different, rest of the properties in data and formatting remains the same. So let us now switch to new control. I remove this and I add a new control, a next control, that is a pie chart. When you want to show composition of something, you should be going for a pie chart selection. Here the country wise gross profit is to be seen. So let me add the metric as gross profit. So it will show me the percentage of the each country has contributed in the gross profit. So when you view it, you can see it this way. You can switch to next countries by switching this and you will see the different range of countries, right? A pie chart and a donut chart is almost the same, only thing a donut chart will have a hole in the middle. So the properties and styling are the same. There is one style property I want to show you. Either you want to show it in different colors, or you want to show it in slice order, or you want to show that is in ascending or descending manner, or you may want to show it in a single color shade. So this looks more decent than the colorful one. So this is the way a donut chart or a pie chart works. So that's all with these controls of bar chart and a pie chart. We have also discussed a combo chart. Similarly, you can convert this into a scatter plot, which will show you the bubbles for the data that is there. So the scatter plot shows the same data that it reflected in a bar chart. Only thing is the bubbles reflect the data. So it is a more compact view that the gross profit country wise has been listed here and the cost is also listed. So you can see how the data is distributed using the scatter plot. So rest of the properties are same. So let us stop here and we will see the next control in next session. Let us begin with the next session. We will be exploring the another controls of maps and page level controls. To explore the control of map, let me add another data source which has countries, regions, sub-regions, so we'll be understanding it in better way. So I go to data resources and add a new data source from my Google Sheets, which is a Euromart datasheet which has countries as a column. Add it to the report. Once it is added, you see that there exists a country here. The type is location, city. From this earth icon you come to know that the type is location. In our previous data of sales, the country had a textual type, so you have to convert it into location by editing the data source. So I am explaining now on Euromart data source which has countries and sales profit figures in those countries. So let me add a map. I go to add chart and add a map from that. And I will change the color metric to, let us say, profit figures. So the color density shows you which are the countries where profit is maximum, average or minimum. You can view it and you can see the countries on the profit earned range. You can change this map to another map types that are available. So there is a map, it just has different look. The data and the styling remains the same. This has just a gray background and the density wise it is showing the profit in those countries, and here the look is different. So let us prefer to the first look where the profit is shown in different countries and the bubble size indicate the amount of profit. So that is with the map control. Now to explain the page level control, I just delete this and add a chart of pivot type that we have added before. So I am adding a pivot table and I am selecting a data source as our previous sales data Tech ABC. I am choosing the row dimension as country and the column dimension as date, and I'll change this column type to year. Now when I add the metric as gross profit, we will see gross profit year wise and country wise, right? Now to discuss the page level controls, they are the controls which change the data depending upon the selection or value of the control. They are drop down list, fixed size lists, input box, sliders, checkbox and date range control. Let us discuss some of the major controls. Let us say a drop down list where the dimension control field is country. When we view it, we can select different countries for which we want to see the data, or we can choose selectively, or I can say only for UK I want to see the data. So it filters all your page visuals to display data for UK. So that is how the page level controls act. So there are different controls, they are self-explanatory. It is a fixed size list. Instead of a drop down box, you will see the fixed size list here, and you can choose the depending upon the control field. Say you want control field as country, then you can choose different countries and see the gross profit. So let me delete these and discuss input box. Input box, as the name suggests, it is used to take value from the input. it is a case sensitive. Suppose you want to see the data for country UK, then a case sensitive input it takes and filter the visuals accordingly. So there are other controls like sliders to see the gross profit in particular range, and another major control is a date range control. That is, it will filter the data from the selected date range for the given year. So you can select a start date and the end date, and for that particular data the gross profit will be displayed. So this is how the range control filter the data of all the visuals on that page, and hence they are called as page level controls. So that's it with this session. Let us explore more in next. Welcome to the session. The last session where I am presenting you the dashboard that I have created from the Euromart datasheet that I have explained you earlier. So this is how my dashboard looks like. I have tried to use all the controls or the visuals that we have used as discussed. It is their scorecard for displaying maximum profit and the quantity of the sales done. Then there is a map control which displays the country-wide sales and profit. Then there is a bar chart displaying sales and profit item-wise. Similarly, quarter-wise, there is a combo chart of profit and sales. There is a pie chart, donut chart, as well as a heat map. So this is how when you look at the dashboard, it looks like this. Now, how to finally use this dashboard? How the people of the company or your clients will see this report? For that, you can use the options here of share. So these are the same options as you can see in any Google form or Google Sheet. Like say first option is invite people, where you can invite people to either edit or only view the created report. So they will just get a view of this created report, or if you invite them to edit, they will be collaborator to this report and they can change the design aspects. Then you can have another option as schedule email delivery, where the data studio will send this email of your created dashboard to the clients on the scheduled time and date that you have entered. So you can enter here and can choose also the frequency, that how often you want to send this report, and can schedule the email delivery accordingly. Similarly, you can get a report link and can send this link where the clients will use this link to see the report. Another thing is you can embed it into a web page. So suppose you already have a web page with some HTML, PHP code or some other format like say Python code, then you just copy paste this iframe code and paste into your HTML page or a PHP page. Then your whenever page will be visited with this frame on, they will show the dashboard that you have created here with this iframe tag. So just copy paste this tag and paste it into a HTML page that you have of your client's website. Then you have an option to download this report as a CSV file or as a PDF file. So you can download this as a PDF file and can send by email to your client. So this is how you can create the beautiful dashboards and convert the boring textual data into a visually understandable data, from where the business decision makers can make their decision earlier, because they have the compact view where they can interact with the dashboard and can filter the different data according to the inputs they want or the insights they want with your data, and this process helps in the business decision making. So this is all about Google Data Studio. I have explained you some of the controls, data connectivity, and finally how to use them. There are more properties that can be explored, but stay tuned for that for the next course. Thank you for attending this course. We are ending up the session here.